So just a few little things about the equipment that's going to help you tomorrow a lot. In moving the footbar, these pins, you see these rings here? If you need to come closer, feel free to come closer. You can crowd all around here, just not in front of the camera, but you can crowd around. The ones with the ring over here, don't pull those ones. We call those the grenade pins. So it won't explode, but don't pull them. Okay? The ones you want to use are these other ones. There is one on each side. You pull it and quarter turn. You then pull the other one, and once you've pulled it, you can let it find its own position. Once it's found its hole on that side, make sure you lock in the second side as well. Okay? So if I want the bar, when it's in its standard setting, you'll be able to see two holes. But say I'm working with Monique, and Monique's a little shorter, so then I'll take it up one more hole, and I'm now set up for a shorter person. Maybe Sarah, maybe Monique. This is a good setting for someone that's a little shorter. If it's someone really tall, then you'll put it on the standard setting, but you'll move these two stoppers. And you can put the stopper, depending on how tall a person is. Maybe if we're working with Claire, maybe Claire, I'd move it out one hole for you. But then remember to put it back afterwards. In terms of the springs, there's 3 red springs, a blue and a yellow. The reds are what we call 100% springs. They're full springs. The blue is a half a spring, and the yellow is a quarter of a spring. So for all intent and purpose, just remember a full spring and a light spring. So when Siobhan said a red and a blue, what she meant is a full spring and a light spring. You can choose blue, yellow. I think your setting was a really good one. Okay, so you then have 3 rows of what we call gears. The first gear is closest to the carriage, then the second, then the third. Of course, the higher you go, the more resistance you get. Okay, it is a philosophical discussion. Do you like working preloaded? What we mean by preloaded is that there's already weight as you push out. Or do you like working without preload? That means you work on that first gear. Philosophical discussion between teachers, no right or wrong. Personally, I like working preloaded, but I've got colleagues that argue vehemently that you should start at 0 and not preload the springs. Difference of opinion. That's what it comes down to. Okay. When you set the equipment up after your session, wipe it down. You don't have to do it during your session. We'll give you that right to just leave the equipment unkept for a few minutes. After your session, come and wipe it down. Put all 5 springs on, the bar at its standard position, headrest down, and if you wouldn't mind not... I'm not going to mess with it now. These are too short. Try not to mess with the straps.
Is there a proper measurement for the straps where they should be?
Well, where you know, and I'm going to come up with an exact measurement, but I have done it for so many years intuitively, about 3 inches down in the center. All this means is that there's going to be a lot of resistance in these. So when you get to your side arms kneeling, even a yellow on the first gear is going to feel heavy because the straps are short. I mean, these aren't, these are probably an inch short, so it's not too much problem. But if you see them up here, they're much too short. And what it means is that the spring is going to be too loaded. Okay? So the headrest is down. If for some reason you need to lift the headrest, in the footwork, standard is down. But if for some reason you need to lift it, it should click straight in. And there are different increments, but you'd never have to go that high. And then just release it to go down. There's a little pin there that you pull out to lift it and take it down. Okay? The ropes don't faff around with the up-down, just leave them where they are. You can see these have already been moved around quite a bit because I set them up the other day. And I don't know why people move them a little bit, but anyway, we need to come up with one standard, and that's where they got to be kept. Can't understand what the difference would be. I know I left them all on 8. What the difference would be between 8 and 7. No human body is going to discern that. So someone was trying to aggravate me. For sure. Okay. So let's move. And they succeeded. So let's move on. Questions about reform exercise. These F2 handles, if you're doing the reverse knee stretch, you can use those handles. Really nice to use them. Isn't that cool? You don't have to put your hands over here and catch your hands. You can hold the handles, and then you've got free rein with that carriage.